luxury homes, and I think that's wonderful. I'm excited to hear that about you. Are you going to the luxury retreat in May?
I am not.
Okay, that's okay.
I've been.
You've been. It's amazing. Okay. She has a bachelor's degree in communication and a master's degree in education. And so I probably have forgotten lots and lots and lots of stuff about you. So anything that I didn't, please, and let's give her a very warm welcome and a wonderful
Thank you guys, and thank you for that. I want to thank Julie for putting this together as well. She and I have been attempting to get this on the schedule for like 2 months. And speaking of busy schedule, I have a MAPS coach. How many of you in here have a MAPS coach? My MAPS coaching call starts at 12. So I'm hightailing it out of here at 11:59. So I promise, TJ's here. If we do not get through everything today, I absolutely will come back and be happy to teach this or any other class again. So I wanted to thank you guys for having me. I actually started in real estate about 9 years ago. My husband and I were both teachers. I taught 4th grade and my husband taught 6th grade math. And we thought it would be fun to flip houses on our summer vacation. Like, HGTV's cool, we can do that, you know. So we bought our first property in the springtime. We flipped it while we were off in the summertime and sold it. And I thought, wow, that was really fun, right? So then we go back to school the next school year and said, we should do that again. So we get through the school year. In the springtime, we bought another property. We flipped it that summer. And the agent that we, this sounds terrible. The agent that we hired to sell the house for us that second time, she spelled realty wrong on the top of the contract. I'm like, okay. And then the amount of money that we made on that second rehab was more than my teacher salary for the year. And throughout this, and I don't say that to brag, it's just when the light bulb went off. We got so passionate about real estate just doing those first 2 investment properties that we did. I loved it. And I loved all the details of it. And I met the people that came and bought the property. And the feeling I saw when they walked into that house, because I was there because I didn't know any better to not be there as the seller, they walked right in and I was like, that's the coolest feeling in the world. So David and I decided that one of us would get into real estate because it's real scary to give up a salary and health insurance and that security, right? Has anyone else been in that? Yeah, scary. So we literally flipped a coin and I won and I got into real estate first. So I've been in real estate full-time 9 years at this point. David followed me about 1.5 years later because I was lucky enough to get really busy really quick. So he's been licensed full-time for 7 years. We joined Keller Williams and moved to Florida 3.5 years ago. I didn't know any scripts before then. I didn't know how to overcome objections before then. I think we got successful out of luck and being really friendly with everyone. Once we joined Keller Williams, that's really when I learned how to build a business. It was just David and I with one admin doing our thing, right? Once we joined Keller Williams, that's when we learned the systems and the models and how to grow a team, and we are a team of 11 at this point. And that's how we've managed to more than double our business year over year. We will double it again this year. And that, again, is not to brag. That's just to tell you guys that in 3 years, I've learned all this. So if you're newer in the business and what you're going to hear today, if you think, oh, I could never say that, that's too bold, it's too aggressive, just know that I was absolutely in your shoes 3 years ago and you absolutely can. So we're going to talk about today overcoming objections. That is my contact information. Please write it down. I am an open book about everything. After today's class, because I do have to run right out of here when class is over for my coaching call, if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, negative feedback, please call me or text me. I will be happy to help you with anything that I can. Is that fair enough? I want to go around the room super quickly and find out who is in here. So if we could start in the back, tell me your name and how long you've been in real estate.
5 years.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. We're going to go this way, and then we'll come back up through the rows.
Robert Casella, 10 years.
Awesome.
Nicole, 6 months.
Woo! Thanks for being in class, Nicole. Yes, ma'am.
Diane McGinnis, 17 years.
Welcome.
Stephen Wallace, 30 years.
Needs no introduction. Awesome.
Adam
Adam.
Wallace, 6 years.
Very cool.
Dennis Hartford since December.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, Dennis.
Anna's 5 and 3.
Aha! I get it. I get where you're at. Awesome.
For those 2 months.
Welcome, Pete.
She for like 45 days.
Fantastic.
For 12 years.
Awesome. We're right back here at the front.
Oh, Marlene Ryan, 15.
Awesome.
Gina Serena, 22.
So not old enough to have been in real estate this long. Go ahead.
Nita Alsaker, 21.
Awesome.
Katie Lane Camp, 5 months.
Awesome.
Amy Reed, 13 years.
Wow.
Jared Sneas, a little less than a year.
Fantastic.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Darren. Okay.
TJ Heiss, 2 months.
2 months. Julie, how long have you been in real estate for?
10 years.
10 years. Ma'am, how long have you been in real estate for, and what's your name?
3 months.
3 months. And one more.
Nuris Melo, 1 month.
1 month. Okay. Who is really uncomfortable? Thank you for that. Who's really uncomfortable with the word script? Do you get like the ugh when someone says the word script? Can you raise your hand higher? You are not alone. When you hear the word script, does it make you feel like, ugh, that doesn't sound like me, or I can't say that, it feels artificial, like you're not being honest or sincere, right? Will someone ask me about my children?
Hey, tell me about your kids.
Thank you. One more thing about me as an instructor. I am super comfortable with uncomfortable silences, so I will literally stand here until someone answers me. So thank you, Julie. Sorry, ask me that again.
Hey, tell me about your kids.
Oh, thank you for asking. I have two. I have a 6-year-old and a 6-month-old, and they are just fantastic. I love them to pieces.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
What are their names?
Their names are Luca and Avery. When someone asks me about my kids, guys, I will say that every single time. Do you know why? It's a script. It's just a script. When my daughter is 7 months old, but I said 6 because I was so used to that script, right? So guys, a script, it's not something to be afraid of. A script is just, you might want to write this down.
Is it working?
Maybe not. Oh, you go old school. No, I won't. It was working earlier. Thanks. I'll tell you. A script, and you can write this down, it's just a polished response to a frequently asked question. A script is just a polished response to a frequently asked question. Do you guys know that all buyers and sellers, about 20 years ago, they all got together in one room, and they decided to have the exact same objections? It's the truth, right? You are going to hear about the same 5 or 6 objections every single time. They may sound a little different. The words that your buyers and sellers use may be a little different, and yet it always boils down to about the same 5 or 6 objections, right? So when you become really comfortable with that script, because now we're all comfortable with what a script is, right? When you become really comfortable with what to say back, it won't fluster you. You won't feel so ooh anymore. As a realtor, we get asked the same questions all the time. Let's just get comfortable with our responses. Do you guys know when you're at a listing appointment and someone has an objection, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Good.
Who said good? Yeah, why do you think it's, I'm sorry, what's your name? Stacy, why is it a good thing?
Because they're engaged.
They're engaged,
They're
right?
involved.
Yeah. Why else is an objection a good thing? Gina, did you say yes? Or did I make that up?
Oh.
Sorry, I thought I heard you say yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Someone else that said yes. Why isn't it Quinn?
It means they're thinking about listing or buying or whatever it may be.
Yeah. When they don't have questions, when they don't have objections, are you really interviewing for the job, or are they just like, when is this chick getting out of here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Guys, an objection, you might want to write this down too, is just a question in the mind of your client. It's not a bad thing. It's just a question. And a lot of times the buyers and the sellers feel like they have to ask these questions. They've watched enough HGTV. They've bought 4 houses in their lifetime, so they know everything. They feel like they have to ask these questions, right? So what we're going to go through today is some of the most commonly asked questions. I do an Overcoming Objections 2.0 class. Julie, we can throw that on the calendar.
Love it.
Which is, it's more of an interactive. You guys tell me what you're hearing out there, and we'll role play through those. Does that sound good? So today I have some pre-brought objections that we're going to review, and then we can always do 2.0 if we want to. That being said, because I used to be a 4th grade teacher, I kind of joke that sometimes my 4th graders would like cry when their parents left. And now you guys cry because I asked you not to look at your phones for an hour, right? But if you need to, if your phone rings, please just step out and take a phone call. I totally understand. We all have businesses to run. So how many of you work with buyers? Are there any buyers agents in the room? Okay, awesome. How many of you have heard this? I'm not going to sign a buyer agency agreement. I don't want to be tied down, right? Yeah, have you heard that before? How many of you are getting buyer agency agreements signed before you go out and show properties? Okay. It needs to be everyone. Can we have some tough love for a second?
I will.
Would you ever spend your money on a professional photographer and go through the listing agreement and do all of that without a listing agreement signed? Why are you doing that with your buyers? Would you guys like to know how my team gets buyer agreements signed 100% of the time? Okay, let's talk about it. So let's role play. We're in a buyer consultation, so let me set the stage. You have called on one of my signs. You've called one of my listings, and I said, why don't you come in so we can talk more about what you're looking for in a property? Because you know what? This is a good script. I'd rather ask you 100 questions up front and show you 5 properties than ask you 5 questions and show you 100 properties. It's a real good one. Buyers get that, right? So now you're in, and we're sitting down at my office, and we're doing a buyer consultation, okay? And we've gone through everything. We've looked at properties. I feel like I've built up my value. We're gonna meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock because now I have to go set appointments for these 5 listings. So we're gonna meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock to start looking at the 5 that we've picked out, and I bring up my buyer agency agreement. Will someone role play this with me? Quinn, thank you. Okay, so Quinn, we're gonna meet here at the office tomorrow morning at 10. Before we do that, I wanna share with you our buyer agreement. And what this does, this allows me to are you guys single agents here?
Yep.
Okay, this allows me to represent you as your agent in this transaction. So this top part, this explains what I do for you. I'm gonna work exclusively with you, make sure we're looking at, and I'll go through these 3 parts. So what, Quinn, I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just sign an initial right there. And again, I'm excited to get started tomorrow at 10.
I mean, I don't really want to sign a buyer's agency agreement. I don't really want to be tied down to somebody, you know.
Okay, have you ever purchased a property before, Quinn?
Yeah, we bought a few.
Okay, has anyone ever asked you to sign an agreement?
No.
That's probably why you might be feeling a little apprehensive, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Do you know about the different types of realtors in the state of Florida?
No, I mean, I know you guys all work for different companies, so.
Yeah. Are you a football fan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's kind of like we're in a game of football, right?
Okay.
Most realtors in the state of Florida are transaction brokers. And what that means is they're like a referee in the middle of the field. Their job is to just make sure that it's fair and equal to both sides. They actually don't represent you as the buyer, and they actually don't represent the seller. Last time you worked with an agent, were you under the impression that you had someone fiduciarily, legally responsible for you?
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm paying them, right?
Yes, that's why most agents don't have this conversation with you, and that's why most agents have never asked you to sign a buyer agreement. So what I am a single agent, and what that means is I am your coach on your side of the field, talking you through each play, talking about negotiations, talking about getting you the best terms and conditions. My job is to not represent the transaction, my job is to represent you. In order to do that, that buyer agreement allows me to do so. If not, I'm a glorified door opener. I'm gonna open the door to these 5 houses tomorrow and tell you this is the bathroom and these are the kitchens, what are your thoughts? And when you say to me, well, what should I offer? What's your opinion? What's going on in market value? As a transaction broker, I legally can't share that with you. My job is to just give you the information. As your agent, my job is absolutely to steer you in the right direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, don't still say no. So what I need you to do is just sign an initial right there for me.
I mean, you know, I've got a couple friends that are agents, and they don't need me to sign any of those, so.
Okay. We're gonna handle that objection. Okay, so we have a couple friends that are realtors.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. If they're adamant that they will not sign this, guys, this is how we get it signed 100% of the time. Quinn, then what I'm gonna ask you to do, we've already spent about 45 minutes together, right? Do you feel that I can add value to our house hunting trip tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What I'm gonna ask you to do then is I'm gonna ask you to sign this for 24 hours. If by tomorrow, when we're done with our house hunting trip, I have not delivered and shown you value, you are out of that agreement. What this does is this allows me to prove to you that I am absolutely going to get you the best terms and conditions, find you the property, get you through inspections, appraisals, everything that comes along with this property. I'm going to prove to you by tomorrow that I can do that. And if for some reason I have not, that was only signed for 24 hours. If I have proven to you my value, we will extend it at that point. Now, in all my years of doing this, I've never had anyone not extend, and I really hope you're not the first. And then I'm going to ask you to sign this so that I can represent your best interest while we're out at those 5 houses tomorrow.
Okay.
Guys, if they say no, we do not take them out. Because Quinn, I'm real committed to you, and if you're not real committed to me, that's okay. What I'm gonna do is see if there's a newer agent in the office that might wanna take you out. They hate that. They hate that. That's called the takeaway. It's a real strong negotiating tactic. Boom. Yes, sir.
When you say you're representing as a single agent, which is great,
Yes.
what happens if it's your own listing or an in-house?
We'll explain transaction brokerage. Yeah, and so and I say this on my listing appointments too. So what happens if we're transitioning to a transaction brokerage? At that point, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller, I will have educated you so much and giving you so much information about the market, about what's going on. You will absolutely know how to make the right decisions. And I'm not going anywhere at that point. I still will lead you through this transaction.
But do you say that before they sign the buyer agency agreement?
If we're looking at one of our listings, we absolutely do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I wondered about the actual agreement itself.
Mhm.
Is that something you could share?
I think, Leland, can I share that? I don't have it with me. Yeah, I'll get it over to Julie for you.
Thank you.
Can everyone say that?
Mhm.
It's not very difficult, right? If you're having people sign listing agreements, have them sign buyer agency agreements. Next Friday, there's a really great class called Working with Buyers that Matt Sutter is teaching. I think it's at the Rasen building. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Tomorrow,
We're doing that as well.
are you doing that also?
With Matt.
Oh, just for your office? Special. My husband is also teaching a class tomorrow called Working with Buyers at a High Level at our Sarasota Siesta Key office if anyone wants to
What
do that.
time?
I have no idea. Text me, I'll let you know.
Yeah, okay.
We're moving on from buyers because that's about the only objection you'll get from a buyer. Is that cool? Okay, let's talk about sellers. Who loves sellers? How many of you sellers drive you crazy? No. I was just on the phone this morning with my 3 o'clock listing appointment, and he said this to me. I literally was calling to confirm the appointment, and we got into a 15-minute discussion. The other agent said they could get me more money. How many of you have heard this before? All the
expired
time,
listing,
right?
every-
I think they have to say this, yeah. Would anyone like to hear my response to this one?
Yes.
Okay, this, guys, is exactly how I say it. Will someone besides Quinn say that to me?
The other agent said that they could get me more money.
Nina, okay, so the other agent that you interviewed said that they could get you more money? Okay. Did that agent take out their checkbook and offer to buy your house?
No.
And
No.
I say that half jokingly, and yet it's true. How in the world does the other agent know that they can get you more money? Did they bring different comparables or show you any other houses other than the ones that we've just discussed going over the market analysis?
Well, they did some, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
and they were, higher price properties, so.
They were the active ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So based on these 3 sold comparables that are right here, that are at 400, 398, and 372, and the other agent, what is the other agent saying they can get you?
Like 450.
From this information, why do you think the agent is saying that? If the highest sold, and remember, solds are what actual buyers are willing to pay in today's market for a property like yours, why do you think they're saying they can get you 450?
Well, I guess I just thought maybe they just thought they could.
Yeah. You know what they're trying to do? Nina, are we at the point in our relationship where we can be honest with each other?
Yeah.
Guys, I say that all the time. I say that to people all the time. And you know what it does? It goes like this a little bit. Because these conversations are tough. These are tough conversations. So ask that question. So Nina, we're at the point where in our relationship where we can be honest with each other.
Sure.
I think that the other agent said that because they really want your listing. As do I. Because you know what happens when you get a listing? You get buyers. People are going to call from our internet advertising. They're going to call from our amazing sign in the yard. They're going to sell a house because they have your listing. You know what happens though? It's not going to be your house that sells. Do you see these other 4 actives that are at between 410 and 430? These active properties are doing the market research for you. Go kiss your neighbors and tell them thank you. They have all been on the market between 27 and 48 days. 27 and 148 days. They're telling us that actual buyers in today's market for a property like yours they're not seeing value at this price. What we need to do is price it correctly where the actual buyers are to get your property sold. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So the other agent said they could get you more money because they want to get a deal from your property. Unfortunately, it's not going to be from the sale of yours.
Okay.
Can you guys say that? It's tough, right? Your palms get a little sweaty.
What if they said to you, oh, you know what, I'm not in a rush, I don't mind listing, and maybe I'll get, but I'm not in a hurry to
You're
get
not in a
out of
hurry?
here. I'd like to see if I can get this higher price.
You're testing the market?
Yeah.
Let's do 2 things. Let's say you're not in a hurry, and then let's say you're testing the market. And I'm sorry, tell me, you didn't make a name tag. I'm so sorry. What's your name again?
I apologize.
That's okay.
Sorry, Stacy.
Stacy, I got it. So Stacy, what you're telling me is that you're just not in a hurry,
No,
right? On a scale of, say this guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your motivation to sell this property right now is?
maybe like a 4.
Like a 4, okay. The reason I ask that is it's really important for me, thank you, that my motivation matches your motivation. I put a lot of time, energy, effort, and passion into selling my listing. And if your motivation is not to get this property sold right now, I'm not the right agent for you. Julie, if you want to test the market at this higher price for 3 weeks, I'm not the right agent for you. And the reason for that is it is statistically proven, the National Association of Realtors tracks statistics for us, that your listing is going to get its most activity, the most excitement, the most momentum in the first 3 weeks that we're listed. I am not the agent that's going to price it high, see how it goes, and reduce it in 3 weeks. Because why, Julie? Why would I not do that?
Well, because if it doesn't sell, I guess you don't make any money.
The commission is the least of why that's a concern for me. If we put you on the market too high, and we've missed all that initial momentum, why is that a problem for you as the seller? This is not about me, this is about you.
Well, then we missed all of our people that would buy the house.
There are ready, willing, and able buyers in our market today looking for properties like yours, and when we overprice it, they're not even gonna know about it. So if you would like to overprice it and test the market, I'm not the right agent for that. Can I be honest with you?
Always.
We're gonna be having a conversation in 6 months because another agent will take an overpriced listing.
Sure.
You're gonna become expired or withdrawn. We're gonna have this same tough conversation in 6 months, and you're gonna have 6 months more of carrying costs. It is the truth, guys. Please take my word for it. I've done this long enough. It's really enticing when you're a newer agent, potentially, or not as confident to take a listing because you have a listing. Do you know what? Every Tuesday, I call every one of my sellers. Every Tuesday, I call it Tony's Tuesday check-in. It is my least favorite part of my job, and I hate it. I'm going to be very honest with you. I hate those calls because we don't have offers, we don't have showings. What am I doing differently? How am I marketing your property? Those are the most uncomfortable phone calls, and I hate them. I avoid them like the plague, which is why I do them first thing on Tuesdays. I would rather not take the listing than have that uncomfortable phone conversation week after week after week. Because you know what happens? You stop calling them, and then they get real mad. Well, I haven't heard from her in 3 weeks. So when another agent calls them when they're expired in 6 months, well, that Toni at Keller Williams, she stopped communicating with me. You know why? Because I was uncomfortable. I'd rather be real uncomfortable up front than to have these uncomfortable conversations throughout, right? So those are some really good scripts you can use to avoid that. And again, the takeaway is really powerful. If they're not willing to price it to sell, don't take their listing. It's okay. There's a lot out there. There are sellers that will price it right and make it sell. Yes, sir.
How do you handle a situation where there is, the comps are what they are, and there's an appreciable number of upgrades in the home that are notable, and you've assigned a value to those upgrades that you think are reasonable under the circumstances, and but that is the impetus for why they're saying it should be selling at a higher price, and there is a degree of subjectivity to that.
So they think
as well.
because they put all new baseboards in, it's worth $20,000 more?
Well, not necessarily. No.
Oh, you'll hear
we're
it.
talking an appreciable difference, not a de minimis aspect to upgrades, but an appreciable difference.
Yeah.
So how does that measure up? How do you talk to them about that? And when there is a degree of subjectivity associated with that.
Yeah, my job as your professional real estate agent is to know what that subjectivity is, because I sell houses and I look at houses every single day in our market, and the fact that you have a beautiful brand new kitchen, and it's fabulous, I would die to have this kitchen. That, I did add value to that based on these comparable sales we just talked about. Unfortunately, sir, I know that you put $50,000 into this kitchen, and this is why, and I say this is why I love and hate HGTV all at the same time. Because yes, you put $50,000 into this kitchen. In today's market, that does not equate to adding $50,000 to your price tag. It just doesn't. And that's not me. Say this, write this down. This goes with everything that has to do with pricing. You know, Mr. Wells, it's not what you want to get out of the property. It's not what your mortgage payoff is. It's not what you need to get out of the property. It's not even what I think the home is worth. We're gonna base the price based on market value and what the market is telling us your home is worth. I say that all the time. It doesn't matter what you want, what you need, what your mortgage payoff is. It matters what actual buyers in today's market are willing to pay. So that's how I handle it. I'm the expert. I know that your $50,000 kitchen is beautiful. However, it added about $20,000 to our comparables, which I did, and you can see that adjustment right here. Great question. Okay. So the other agent sent me, we kind of went into a couple different scripts there, which may be coming up. Ugh. How many of you heard this one? Does anyone need a sucker? Everyone doing okay? Anyone need some sugar? Let me know. I'm not taking these home. How many of you have heard this one before? Ugh. Right? Dennis? I knew it. I'll throw them at you. If you want, just raise your hand, I'll throw it at you. Yes. The joke, guys, and everything I'm telling you, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I absolutely say this to my clients. I will say this to my client's face. So, How many of you know someone's brother, sister, cousin? It's great when they're a realtor in town, yet most of the time they're a realtor in Alaska, right? Yes, so everyone knows a realtor. So the joke you can say, and please use this, is it's funny, we say in Florida, when you get pulled over by a police officer, the police officer asks for your real estate license before your driver's license, because more people in the state of Florida have a realtor license than a driver's license. Do you know how many realtors are in our board?
Over 6,000, right?
Over 6,000. There are over 6,000 of us.
That's why we need a shift.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Yeah, it's true. That's why we need a shift. Do you know what a shift does? It weeds out the weak agents.
Yeah.
You know what's great about Keller Williams? Gary Keller wrote a book called
Shit.
We're Ready for It. We're prepared for the
Been
shift.
talking about it for 2 years.
I know we have been, right? Okay, how do we overcome this objection? It's exhausting, right? Okay, someone say this to me. You can word it however you want. It doesn't have to be this exact. Okay, so, anyone, I'm ready.
My brother's friend's sister's cousin is an agent, and I'm gonna have her live in my house.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Let me ask you this question. So, do you know how long your brother's friend, sister's cousin has been in real estate?
30 years.
Okay, awesome. Do you know about how many houses they sell every week? Every week.
I like that.
Like 1 or 2.
Okay, yeah, it's a question I would ask them. Guys, usually, because I get this a lot, usually they say, oh God, I have no idea. If they say that, fantastic. And guys, I'm going to use my numbers. I realize that I have a pretty good real estate business. If you do not have these numbers, use your office numbers. My office sells, someone can tell you, where's your MCA? They can tell you this information. My office sells 11 houses a week, right? So, okay, so you're not sure how many houses they sell?
No.
Okay. Did you know the average agent in our board of realtors sells on average 4 to 6 houses a year? A year. I sell 4 to 6 houses a week. And the reason that that's important is let's pretend, I'm big into analogies, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Let's pretend we're getting into an airplane, right? There's a very big difference between a pilot that has their license and it hangs on a shelf and a pilot that flies every single day and has logged the hours in the cockpit, right? Selling your home is one of your biggest financial decisions that you will ever make. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So my question is, would you rather get into the cockpit or would you rather get into the airplane with a pilot that flies, 3-4 times a year? Or would you rather get into the plane with a pilot that this is what they do all day, every day?
Yeah, the second option sounds like the one.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, I think that's fantastic. I hope that my friends and my family are as loyal to me as I am to them. And I think that's wonderful. However, true story, my parents recently bought a house and I referred them to another agent. Granted, it was my husband, and yet I'm not working with them. Because you know what? I say this. You know what? Thanksgiving can get real uncomfortable when something goes wrong in that transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how often something goes wrong in a real estate transaction? Almost every time. And so let me save that from that happening to your brother, sister's, friend's, cousin, because I don't want you guys to have an awkward Thanksgiving. Guys, if they keep pushing, which they sometimes that works, book closed, we're ready to go. Sometimes they keep pushing, which is fine. What I then will pull out of my back pocket is, look, I would be happy, do you agree that I am the right real estate agent to represent you in the sale of your house?
Well, I'd rather talk to him and see, maybe what he's planning on doing.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think you absolutely should interview him. If you agree that I'm the right agent to sell your property, and you want me to have that conversation with him, I absolutely will. I have done it in the past. I will do it for you. What I also can do is if you agree that I'm the right one to sell your home, I would be happy to pay your brother a referral fee. Because that way he's still, did you see that? That way he's still benefiting from the sale of your home, and yet you don't have that uncomfortableness when this transaction gets a little uncomfortable. Also, he can bring a buyer. He knows your house better than anyone. Have him bring a buyer and he gets half the commission plus a referral fee. And isn't that a win-win for everyone? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. So sometimes I will pull the commit. I will pay a referral fee all day long because how does that math work? I'll take 75% of something rather than 0% of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm a math wizard.
100% of nothing.
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, something like that. I'll pay referral fees all day long. Can you guys all say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you don't have the statistics to back it up, you know what? You're a part of one of the best offices in town. Your office has the statistics to back it up. Are we all a big team and family here at Keller Williams? Is that not our culture? Use your office numbers. You have great numbers for a reason, right? Cool. another one. Can someone ask me this question?
Yeah, if their agent said they would cut their commission, will you?
Nope. Guys, I joke, yeah. This is, can I have a piece of paper? And can you rip it into 6 pieces? 6 equal. Okay. I feel like this is the one, pushing buttons all over the place. I feel like this is the one that most time the consumer public feels like they have to ask. They feel like they have to ask if you will cut your commission, right? It's our culture to ask. Sometimes, I'm gonna give it a 50%. I say no, and they say okay. And you just move on with your presentation. I feel like sometimes they just have to ask. Sometimes they really wanna ask you more about that, and they get pretty adamant about it. Okay, let's stay with this one then. So the other agent said they would cut their commission. Can someone role play this with me? Someone say this to me.
Yeah, I had an agent that said they'd sell it for 4%.
Do 5.
5.
Yeah. Are you guys hearing 5? Is that fair?
I'm hearing 3. I'm hearing.
What? Who's doing it for free? Then you're working. You know what? Then they're offering out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Anywho, say 5 if that's okay.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start over. We getting this at home.
Yeah. So the other agent that I just interviewed said they were gonna do it for 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what concerns me about that? Guys, use this energy and this. Ooh, really? Use it, right? Quinn, you know what really concerns me about that? Is the first negotiating tactic that this agent is showing you is that all they know how to do is lower the price. So when it comes to protecting your bottom line, if they're that willing to cut their bottom line, how hard are they going to fight to protect yours? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me show you something. Do you understand how the real estate commission works?
No.
Okay. Most people don't. It's okay. I think that a lot of times the public thinks that realtors just go home and like take a shower and all the money that we make, right? Is that not? You see that number on the closing statement, and you think we're going home to like shower and all this. And I wish that were the case. And let me tell you, Quinn, I make a fantastic living being a real estate professional. But let me share with you how this works. You can use six $1 bills, yet who carries cash ever? Or you can use 6 business cards, which I didn't have out and prepared. So anything that there are 6 of, you can use. So Quinn, is it okay with you if I explain how that commission works?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember we talked about buyers representatives and how we also market not just to buyers, but to buyers agents that have buyers looking for a home like yours?
Right.
In order to do that, we take 3% of the commission right off the top, and we offer that out to a buyer's representative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have the privilege and the honor of working for the best real estate company in the world called Keller Williams, and because of that, I share my commission with them, as will any other agent that you interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to know about the cap. We spend 1% of our commissions that we make on marketing our properties, so 1% right there. This 1% that is left, I put 35% of it away to pay Uncle Sam because they don't take taxes out of my commission checks. I also pay for my office, my car, my gas, my insurance, all of that as a real estate professional. That falls on me to pay all of that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I also feed and clothe and put a house or a roof over my children's head. So at the end of the day, this is the amount of commission I take home. And make no mistake, I make a really good living being a real estate professional. This is not to complain. So if every agent is offering out 3% to a buyer's representative, they have to pay their portion to their brokerage, they have to pay the government, hopefully, and they have to feed their family, right? When he says he's gonna do it for 5%, what's the 1% you just lost?
I mean, probably the marketing.
Not probably.
Yeah.
It absolutely was the marketing.
Okay.
So when an agent says they're gonna cut your commission, do you know what they're gonna do? It's called the 3 Ps of real estate. We learned this in bold, and I use this.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna place a sign in the yard, they're gonna put it in the multiple listing service, they're gonna hope and pray that someone brings a buyer. They do not have an active and or aggressive marketing plan. They can't, because they don't have the money to do it.
Okay.
Is that the type of agent that you're looking for?
Yeah.
Guys, that works. I think that consumers do not understand our commission structure. When you lay that out to them, that really works. I do that demonstration a lot. Can you guys all do that? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I had one a while back that I listed that had that same objection that you get at every listing appointment. And I did that one, and he's like, well, you know, they said they do a lot of marketing, and we have our written marketing plan, because that's what KW teaches us.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually asked him, I'm like, can we call that agent right now?
Yeah.
And you go ahead and here's our 67-point marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read through that and see if you can get in writing that he'll do the same things?
That's a great idea.
And we called him, and he's like, well, what's that? What's listing power tools? What's
Mm-hmm. Guys, there's a lot of realtors out there that sound really good and they sound like they know what they're talking about. Ask them to show you what exactly is their marketing plan. And you know what? If you don't have a written marketing plan, Keller Williams has one for you. Just go use it. It's fantastic. That's why we're at this company, right? Mm-hmm. I am a member of the Master Certified Negotiation Expert. I have that designation. It comes around to Sarasota quite often. When you take one of the classes, they're 2 days each, you are a certified negotiation expert. Less than 1% of realtors in North America have the certified negotiation expert accreditation. When you've taken 3 classes, it's a 3-part series, you are now a master certified negotiation expert. Less than 0.5% of realtors in North America hold this designation. Do you think I say that on every listing appointment?
Yes.
The reason I'm not cutting my commission is because when it comes to negotiating, I'm going to negotiate for you and your bottom line better than anyone else out there. It's a great designation, guys. I highly recommend that class. It's a 3-part series.
And I
Dennis.
think it's coming up at RASM here very shortly.
Is it?
With a very good dynamic
is it?
speakers.
Yeah.
Supposedly, so.
Certified negotiation expert. Not to plug something on Keller Williams, and it's fantastic. Bless you. Guys, also know your list to sale price ratio. That really helps overcome this objection. The average realtor in our board of realtors, their list to sale, this is a script, their list to sale price ratio is about 94%. So for simple math, what that means is if you hire an average agent and you list your house at $100,000, they're going to negotiate you to $94,000. Let's pretend we're FSBOs. My list to sale price ratio, and if you don't have one or no one, use your offices because I bet it's higher than average because we're fantastic at Keller Williams. My list to sale price ratio is 99.2%. So what that means is when you hire me as your agent, I'm going to sell your house for $99,200. Would you say that's better than the average realtor that's selling it for $94,000? Yes. Ask the sellers that. They'll say yes. Do you know what according to the National Association of Realtors, do you know what the average for sale by owner list to sale price ratio is?
In the MLS?
87
It's like, yeah.
84. So, Mr. For Sale by Owner, you're not hiring a realtor. Sorry, we jumped. It's probably in here somewhere. Mr. For Sale by Owner, the reason you're not hiring a professional is because you want to save on the commission. Let's say you're better than average. We've just spent a half an hour together. I think you're better than average. Let's say you sell it for $86,000 as opposed to the national average of $84,000. Have you saved money by not hiring me as your agent, even paying the commission? So that's a really good way to overcome the for sale by owner. I'm not hiring you because I'm not paying a commission. We absolutely will make you more money by hiring us and paying our professional fee, and those statistics will prove it to them. Another thing, when you're working with sellers and buyers, don't call them FSBOs and MLSs, and they don't know what that means. You have to say, it's funny, it's so true. I said that one time, like, what's a FSBO? I'm like, oh, you're a FSBO. Yeah, for sale by owner, multiple listing service, all of that good stuff. You guys doing okay? Do we need to stand up and stretch?
I'm good.
Everyone good? Okay, let's move it on. Who does? Yes! Can I throw it at you? This is real scary. Thank you. I'm so sorry. This feels like it should be a hazard. You're welcome. Is everyone doing okay? Does anyone feel like thanks, Jan. Does anyone feel like they can't say any of these things yet? It's okay to be honest. Good. Let's keep working through it. You know how you're going to get better at this? Back to a football analogy. Do you think that the 49ers, it's my husband's team, don't judge. Do you think that they go into the game on, right? Do you think that they go into the game on Sunday never having practiced?
I mean,
I'll tell David you said that. Yeah, it's questionable sometimes. We role play on, TJ, how often do we practice?
Every day.
Every day our team role plays together. We have a free conference call line that we call in every single morning, and we role play together every single day. TJ did amazing this morning. Yeah, football players, baseball players, they do not practice on their clients. Why are we practicing on our clients? We talked in Bold about you have to have more at-bats. In order to get more listings, to get more buyers, you have to be in front of them more, right? Do not practice on your clients. Practice on each other in a safe space. Script and role play, guys. That's how I got as comfortable with these as I did, is that a sentence? In such a short amount of time. We just practice them. And don't practice on your clients, okay? I feel like we just did this one. Does anyone have questions about that one? Is anyone else hearing anything else from for sale by owners?
Do you have any of these scripts available?
No. These are all really the Bold scripts.
There's a file on.
Julie's recording it.
There's a file on the Facebook group with all the scripts, the KW Classic Open files.
Oh, there you go. There's a file on
How are we gonna get those scripts?
It's all through Google Drive.
We'll help you, don't worry.
Yeah, well,
Julie will help you with that. I just volunteered Julie.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Look at that. We actually have like 7 minutes left. Does anyone else have any other objections that you are hearing, or anything else you'd like to go over or more in detail as we finish up? I feel like I had 2 more in there. I must have taken them off. Anything else I can help you with? Now's your chance.
Well, I have questions about the buyer's agreement.
I'm ready.
Okay, well, what does it actually say in that buyer's agreement?
It lays out our, I don't have it, I don't work with buyers. I don't have it in front of me, yet the front part is our, and really it's our value proposition to you. It's not to tie you to us, right? It's
Yes.
everything, the first part lays out everything that we're going to do for you. We're gonna search the multiple listing service, this, so it's maybe TJ 12 points of what we do for them.
Okay.
The next part is that we ask for you to work exclusively with us. If you go into a builder or if you go to a for sale by owner, call us first. If anything changes with your finances, your job, that you will open honest communication. It talks about where you're looking for a property, so we put Sarasota County, residential between 200 and 300, so we lay out very broad perimeters, and yet the perimeters are in there. And then our office has a $199 transaction fee that is in there as well, and what that covers. And that's pretty much it. You made it pretty simple.
Is it a 2-page?
It's 3 actually, but half of the last page is all the signatures, so yeah.
So you have the single agent contract in there too?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we act as single agents, absolutely.
Honey, I wanna talk just about something for a moment, because I
Yeah.
think this is so important. How long have you lived here?
3 years. We
3
moved here
years.
knowing my parents.
Okay.
That's it.
So, your first year, what did you do in volume?
42.
42 million. Your-
Sorry, oh, volume, no. I don't
Volume.
know, we did 42 transactions, I do
42
not know what that volume was,
transactions. Okay,
yeah.
your second year?
We doubled it, so we went to 91.
Okay, and then the third year?
Yeah, so we are in our 3rd year. Well, I take that back, because we were like a half a year, and like a half a year something, we did 40, and then we doubled, we did 118 last year, we'll do 210 this year.
And for a rolling 12, 34 million. For 34 million.
Yeah.
So what does, your day look like?
So my day, we're pretty structured, which is why Julie and I have such a hard time getting me on the schedule here. Our team role plays from 8:45 to 9. We have a 15-minute role play. Our team lead generates together in one. We're opening the Clark Road office. I don't know if you guys knew about that. So we're in a temporary location, so we are like on top of each other. Our team all lead generates together, right on top of each other. So we lead generate from the time we finish role play, which sometimes goes over. So I'd say we start lead generating at 9:15 to 11. On my schedule, from 11 to 12, I have CMAs, return client calls, follow-up. From 12 to 1, I just have some open time because stuff comes up, right? And I attempt to eat every day. It doesn't always happen. I'm open for appointments at 1 and 3 because I have children at home. On Wednesdays, I'm open for appointments, I think at 5:30 and 7, maybe. TJ schedules some appointments for me. And then every other Saturday, I'm open for appointments at 11 and 1. So that's my schedule. If I have an open appointment time, and every Thursday at 12, I have my MAPS coaching call. At 1 o'clock, I take my 1 o'clock appointment, and I take a past client or a vendor out to lunch or coffee every Thursday. Super fun. I just started that this year, and I love it. It's my favorite part of the week. I had a point. I lost it. It'll come back to me. So, yes, that's my schedule. Oh, the open appointment. If I don't have a listing appointment at 1 or at 3, I'm still lead generating because I have nothing else better to do with my time than look for new business. Great question.
How about growth, like your education, training, your growth, personal growth plan? What education and training do you tap into?
Yeah, so my goal for this year is to become a Keller Williams certified master instructor so I can teach classes around the country. So I go to a lot of our trainings in Orlando. I do everything that I can to be on track for that training. So I teach a lot of our Ignite classes. I teach a lot of the 6 Personal Perspective classes. Those are the types of classes I have to teach in order to become an instructor. So we do a lot of that. I teach a lot of Toni stuff. I teach an Overcoming Objections class. We just did last week a real play of how to get a price adjustment. Were you in that? That got real uncomfortable, but that's how it goes down. So I teach a lot of those type of classes, which I'm happy to do that one here too. That's a really good one. Yeah. So we do a lot of the regional type stuff.
Awesome. Any questions for Toni?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were new, were you just cold calling expires and FISBOs? Did you get out and about? How did you really spark not knowing the area early on?
When we got to Florida or when I started real estate?
Well, I guess for a teacher, that's right.
Yeah, no, I started real estate in North Carolina actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think I told you guys that. Yeah, when I got to Florida, we cold called FISBOs and expireds, and I hated every second of it. Sorry, leadership.
Just be honest.
I hated every second of it.
It's not comfortable.
It's uncomfortable, guys. You know what happened though? It worked. It worked. And after I realized that calling for sale by owners and expireds actually worked, we kept doing it. And I got really good. One of the things I wish I would have done earlier in my business career, in my real estate career, is started my database earlier. My first 3 years in real estate, I couldn't tell you who any of those people were, what their, I did not have a database. So I would have started my database earlier and cultivated it better. What I also would have done is I would have lead generated. So what we also started doing is, because I'm a pretty social person, is we did a lot of networking events. My husband joined a BNI group. We joined the Chamber of Commerce. Any kind of networking event that we could get to, we take part in that too, because people love talking about real estate. Is it not always in the newspaper or something? And people love what's going on in the market. How's the market right now, right? So people just love talking about real estate. So just talk to anyone and everyone you can. So we cold called and we networked. Yeah, good question. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when you said that you called on expired properties,
Mm-hmm.
can you give us an example of what that would
That script sounds like? Sure. Yeah, will you be an expired? Will you role play with me?
Yeah,
You'll be an expired? Okay, yeah. Hi, is this Sharon?
Yes.
Sharon, hi, my name is Toni. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. And I saw you can be mean to me. I saw your property came off of the market. And my question was, when you were going to sell that, where were you moving to? Not when are you, sorry, I don't know if this is the right script. Not when are you going to relist it. That's not my way at it. So if that were to sell, where were you going to move to, Sharon?
We were planning to stay in Florida.
You're going to, okay, were you going to stay in this area?
Exchanging condos.
Oh, you were going to stay right in this area?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, the reason for my call is every morning I proactively look for buyers for my current listings. And I was actually hoping you were a buyer for one of the listings in my inventory. What neighborhood do you want to move into?
I like the Bradenton area.
Okay, I'd probably keep going with this conversation. What I would say is, so Sharon, I know that I know you probably know your property expired off with a multiple listing service. Are you still looking to get that property sold? They always say no. Are you still looking to get that property sold?
I don't know. We're exploring things right now.
Yeah. Most times they say I'm real tired of, I don't want to keep my house clean anymore. I'm sick of you realtors calling me. Right? Are you guys getting that?
Well,
Yeah.
well, actually, I did
You're the sixth person from Keller Williams to call me.
I did the wrong thing. I tried to sell it on my own.
You did. That didn't work out for you.
No, that was before I became a realtor. But
okay.
No.
Are we role playing, or are you telling me the truth right now? Okay. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah.
Be role playing.
Yeah. Well, here's what I would like, Sharon. I would love to chat with you more about what we do to get properties sold. That way, because I'm sure there's a ready, willing, and able buyer. Say that all the time. There is a ready, willing, and able buyer in today's market looking for a home like yours. Can I come over and chat with you for about 15 minutes and share with you what that looks like?
Well, the question I have is that when our property was on the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have this number of realtors calling me to say I can sell your property tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that different now? I've gotten about 10 phone calls.
So you're asking me, why am I calling you now?
So why are you calling me instead of?
Where was I when your property was for sale?
Yeah,
that's a great question, Sharon. Let me tell you this. I don't know your last realtor. I do not know what their marketing plan was, and yet I know when you sell a property, you really have to sell it twice. You have to sell it to the consumer public, to the ready, willing, and able buyers out there, and you also have to sell it to other real estate professionals such as myself that are working with buyers every day in the market. And to be honest with you, your last agent just didn't sell it to me. I didn't know about it. Yeah. Let's talk about, that's why I'd love to meet with you this afternoon. I'm actually going to be in your neighborhood. I'm never in their neighborhood. And yet I'm a realtor. I'm everywhere. I'm actually going to be in your neighborhood this afternoon. Can I swing by for about 15 minutes and talk with you more about that?
Well, I'm vacationing in Alaska, so you're certainly willing to come up here and visit with me.
That would be awesome. Sharon, when are you back in town? I actually book up pretty quickly, so are you back in town next week?
I'll be here. I'll be back in town the end of next month.
Well, then let's do this. Let's set up the appointment now. Also, I'm going to send you an email with all my contact information and a little bit more information about myself. That way, if something changes, we can reschedule. At least that way you're in my schedule, though, and no one else can take that spot from you. Does that work? What's your email address? When you say that, I'm going to send you an email with more information about myself. What's your email address? Tell them first why you're asking for it, and then ask for it. They will give it to you. If you just say, what's your email address? They say, what do you want for? Why are you asking me? Right? Yeah, so tell them first. I'm going to send you more information about myself. What's your email address? They will always give it to you. Sound good?
Smart.
Yeah. What else can I answer for you guys? Yes, ma'am. Stacy, that's got a name tag.
I don't know if this is off track, but
okay.
with, obviously all listings have different price points and so forth, but what would you say is the average that you spend in terms of marketing for a particular listing, like a range?
Yeah, do you want to know something really terrible? That's a great question for my admin. I have no idea. Yeah. I have to go to my coaching call. And I think that's one reason, to be honest, why I can do as many listings as I can. I don't pay attention to any of those details. So I don't know the answer to that. I know we use a professional photographer for everything. We use the 3D interactive tour of the Matterport for most of our listings. We do property flyers. If it's a higher end, we'll actually print. We use Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. So probably a couple $100 on each listing. Our luxury listings, we're probably at about $900 to $1,200 because we do videos and all of that stuff as well. So it's at least a couple hundred for a $300,000 single family home, I would say. Yes. I'm sorry, don't know what Tammy would know.
So guys, what do you think? Did you learn something today?
Yes.
Are you inspired?
Before I let you out of this building, I need to hear at least 5 ahas that you got. It's not a Keller Williams rule, I'm kidding, but I do like to know, what are 5 things that you're gonna take away from what we learned today? Yes, sir.
I thought it was interesting that you knew the NAR statistics for FSBO said only 84%, because I thought it was higher.
Do you know the NAR statistic for how many FSBOs wind up listing with a real estate professional?
It's 80%.
94.
94.
94 is the last I heard. It's in the 90s. So you know what I don't want to happen to you? I don't want you to end up with a weak agent at a weak moment, which is why we need to talk today about what I do differently, right? That's a good script too. Weak agent at a weak moment. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I like how you got to get their email address.
Yeah, it works.
You're gonna send them something.
I have a templated email. You just change it out, hey Dave, instead of hey Trisha. Yeah. Guys, put a system in place. When you're gonna send an email or do something more than once, make it a system. Make a template. I have a whole email folder that's all my templates of FSBOs, expired, this, that. Copy and paste. TJ.
I like your scale of 1 to 10 because you can really figure out their motivation. So if they're like, it's a 4, then you can be like, all right, well, I want to match your.
Can I tell you a quick story? That call I was on this morning for my listing appointment at 3 o'clock, he's been expired 4 times. I was going to be the 5th agent. I did his market analysis last night, and I came up with 750. He was last at 949. David interviewed for the job when I was on maternity leave, and the gentleman wanted $1 million at that point, and at that point he was probably at about 8, and David did not take the listing. So now I'm back around, right? And I told him I probably should not have done this over the phone, and yet it just kept coming out. I couldn't stop myself. He wants to be at 900. The market value is 750. I'm not going over there this afternoon. And the reason I know that is because I said to him, Mr. Hanchy, what's your motivation on a scale of 1 to 10 to sell this property? And he said a 2.
What's that last name again?
Hanchy. His number is, yeah. He said a 2, and I said, look, I am passionate about selling my listings, and at 950, your home is not going to sell, and your time is important, and mine is too. I think we have to hold off on today's conversation until you're ready to get your house sold. And you know what? I think he appreciated it.
His motivation is a 2. He actually said that to you.
Yeah, if it's not going to sell at 900, he doesn't have to sell it. Well, you know what? I'm not putting $1,000 of my marketing into a house that's not going to sell.
Right.
Yeah. So I said that this morning on a phone call. Great. Two more ahas, and then you can all get about your day. Gina.
I love your analogy of the football game and a transactional agent working like a referee versus being a coach.
Thank you. Use that, guys. How many agencies in town are single agents? Not a lot. I don't know of anyone besides Keller Williams.
We have to get the transaction brokerage signed at some point.
That you have the consent to transition?
Yeah, it's part of the listing
agreement.
agreement.
It's part of the listing agreement.
Yeah.
One more, and then you can go. I promise. Yes, sir.
When they only want to pay you 5%.
That's my same one.
That's a good one. Don't practice that in front of people, because the first time I heard that at a class, I didn't make that up. I heard that at a class, and then I attempted to do it in front of actual clients, and it was a disaster. And I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. The one with the 3 pieces of paper. Practice it with someone in your office. Practice and role play. Yeah, do not do that. I was a disaster. It was really funny. Yeah. What is this one supposed to be? I don't remember. So guys, if I were to come back, sorry, can I have your attention for 1 more minute? Thank you. If I were to come back and teach another class, would you like to do the real uncomfortable price improvement discussion? Would that be a good one to do? Okay, Julie, can we get that on the calendar?
You got it.
Let's do that.
I would love it.
It's called the super uncomfortable price reduction discussion. And what I do is I bring up a husband and a wife, who's going to be 2 of you, and we role play for half hour, 40 minutes, what that conversation sounds like. It was one of the best, and it was about a month ago. The reason I came up with that, it's like a month ago, I had this real uncomfortable conversation with one of my sellers, and all my agents in my office are like, whoa. And David said, you should teach that. Gina, I So yeah, I would love it if you guys would all come back and take part in that. We'll get it on the calendar for either next month or the month after. And if you need anything, sorry I have to run out, yet there's my contact information. So thank you so much for coming. You're welcome.